So I'm sure when we were walking through PAX, you saw that messenger booth.
It looked good.
It was very loud, you know what I mean? Like, it had a very cool style to it, and while I didn't know much about the game, I was like, that's something I'm going to see.
It's kind of hard to miss a game in a very narrow hallway when there's 50 people standing around one small booth.
You're so right.
But that is what happened at the messenger booth.
Yeah, so I had a chance to play it. And I know that you're a fan of Ninja Gaiden, the old school Ninja Gaiden.
Yes, grew up with it.
I was going to say, one of the games that shaped you.
The running through the field, the jump, the slash,
yeah,
and the wildly difficult gameplay. My childhood.
I can wholly and confidently say this game lives up and exceeds all of those expectations.
So I peeked over a player's shoulder. He was awful, but I got to see a little taste of what this game is about. But I want to know. I want to hear what's going on here.
So Mega Man is to Shovel Knight as Ninja Gaiden is to the Messenger.
Nice.
So just to give you a bit of a framework, the story of the Messenger is you are this ninja who gets bestowed a secret scroll, and you need to get this message out to your friends or somebody like the capital or whatever, and now you are the messenger. Your job is to get this scroll where it's going.
I mean, it looked, from what I saw, it looked identical gameplay wise.
Oh, for sure.
The animations, the way that he attacks,
oh, yeah,
very like short.
And it's exactly that. Like games of that time were like you had two buttons. Your jump, your slash, and your run. Like that was it, right? And this game absolutely lives up to that, which might make you think, man, it's probably a little simplistic. You know, there must not be that much going on there.
It was
right?
so difficult in its simplicity. The original Ninja Gaiden game.
Yeah. But this one takes that formula and then just starts adding in all these layers of polish and complexity to it that it made it something truly like unique and so satisfying to play.
So I know there's sort of like this flip mechanic, you know, it kind of changes the animation style.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
So from the developer, I had a chance to actually talk to the developer about this, and his explanation is as you progress through the game, when you go through these weird star panels or whatever, you're actually jumping back and forth between timelines.
Oh,
so
okay.
One is like way back in the day, old school 8-bit, and then you jump 500 years in the future, and that's like the 16-bit version. So you're playing two ninjas on the same like mission, right?
Okay. But are they related? Or are they like on the same? Is it the same?
I guess we'll
you don't even know. Okay.
Yeah, right. So as you're progressing through this, the world that you're exploring also changes as you go through these like star barriers or whatnot. So like the entire topography of the levels you're in completely shifts, and there's a lot of really interesting puzzle solving, like going back and forth between time to navigate these different pathways and stuff. But I'll tell you what, while that like mechanic is interesting and very cool and makes your experience super dynamic, what really was compelling to me is how the game approaches flow, right? So in old school NES games, you know, your momentum would shift based on where you jumped or bouncing off of walls or all this sort of stuff. What the developer was telling me was they took a very strong stance on you should be able to move through the entire game without stopping.
I like
smoothly, like a speedrunner's approach, right? And the only way that you can achieve that is by really understanding and utilizing all of the game's mechanics. One of which is the double jump. So there's no actual double jump in the game. You can't just hit jump. But instead, if you jump and then slash something in the air, this little cloud goes under your feet and allows you to jump again.
Very cool.
And that stacks. So if you jump, slash, jump again, then you can slash again and continue this motion. So if you want to move through the game super efficiently, you have to be kind of ballsy and like run into fireballs and slash the fireball out of the air and then just miss the spikes.
That's pretty bad. That is one thing that the original Ninja Gaiden I think was missing. You know, you really had to kind of be slow. Mm-hmm. But it's one thing that they fixed in the Xbox version. They really wanted to keep up that ninja pacing, you know, that ebb and flow.
Exactly. And that's what Terry, the dev, was telling me about. He says, you're playing a game as a ninja, so you should feel like a ninja, you know? The story of how the game was developed also was pretty compelling to me. the pool of talent that he was able to get together for this game is like really impressive. And
really?
And I think that's why everything looks and feels so good.
Yeah.
So they actually have 2 artists on that are working on the game. So they could achieve the 8-bit and 16-bit style.
Is one artist working on one and the other on the other?
And this is the crazy thing. So the second half of the game, yeah, is like a Metroidvania. So all the levels are level-based, but then you can open up the whole world and explore everything.
Cool, yeah.
And because you have this time switch mechanic, you're essentially experiencing every enemy, every stage in both timelines. So they had to recreate graphics for everything twice.
What a pain in the ass.
Right? It's so polished, and it makes it feel so much more of like a natural experience, you know? So there was that, and then the music was so compelling. And you know how I am on the game soundtracks,
of course,
right? So how they ended up getting that is there was this metal band that the developer followed in Quebec, I think is where they're from. And the drummer was just like super talented, and the developer also knew that he did chiptune music. So he's at this guy's concert, and then just randomly was like, "Hey, we're making this game about ninjas. Like, do you want to do this with us?" And he was like, "Yeah." And it's so crazy because the soundtrack matches what you're doing so well. Like, it complements the flow, like, as you're attacking stuff, and just, like, feeling like a cool ninja. You know what I mean? Just jumping between stuff and flipping and whatnot.
That is awesome. I know you don't know, but do you think there are going to be more stages? Maybe you go into the future, and now it's like, you know, maybe your Xbox Ninja Gaiden.
I mean, I don't know. Like, the demo was pretty short. It only took you up through the first boss, which was cool. It was the kind of boss that, like, you know, you're probably going to die the first couple of times, but then, you know, you learn the patterns and whatnot. And that was awesome. That felt great. But, yeah, I have no idea what to expect in the later half of the game, like how it might develop.
But, yeah, I mean, in an era where we're bringing a whole bunch of retro games back, like, this is a really... I love seeing fresh games like this. That really goes in a new direction.
Yeah, it really felt like a standard setter in very much the same way that Shovel Knight did, where they're like, this is modern retro done right. That's exactly what the messenger felt like.
I love that everyone just recognizes it right away. They're just drawn to that.
Yeah. I can't wait to play it.
It's badass.
It's gonna be so awesome, man.